Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sitting out here enjoying the beautiful day, contemplating a recipe that I want to make today. We just got back from New Orleans and we went to this place called Restaurant Revolution, and they had this crab claw dish where the crab claws were seasoned with Cajun Creole seasoning, served with almost like a barbecue shrimp sauce and then some slaw. And it's always usually a traditional New Orleans appetizer. So I'm sitting out here thinking, how can I make this an entree? So I got these awesome crab claws from Wild Fork, and I'm going to do a dirty rice on the bottom. So it's gonna have little pieces of chicken, sausage, ground beef, traditional dirty rice, and then I'm still gonna do the slaw so it can brighten up the recipe a little bit. So I'm gonna enjoy the day a little bit, think about this dish in my head, put it all together, and then we'll go in the kitchen and we'll cook it together. Never cooked this recipe before, so I'll be cooking it with you for the first time. So see you in the kitchen. All right, y'all, I've spent some good time outside getting some sun today. Now I'm ready to make this recipe with you. So I have the 2 bags of the snow crab cocktail claws. So that's 2 pounds. I have them here. And I have a seasoning mixture. It's 1 tablespoon of sweet smoked paprika, and then a teaspoon of garlic powder, cayenne, onion, black pepper, seasoned salt, and a half a teaspoon of oregano and thyme. So I've mixed that together. I'm not going to just pour this over the crab claws because I don't want to waste the seasoning on the shell. So I'm going to do the intricate part of rubbing them in the seasoning like so, to make sure that the meat of the crab actually gets the seasoning. Okay, so it's going to take you a couple extra minutes instead of just pouring the seasoning. But if you get the seasoning on all the crab claws, it's going to make the difference when you take that perfect bite. So just trust me, take an extra minute or two. So I'm going to get all these done. Keep going. All right, last one. Look, almost the exact amount of seasonings. Got all of the crab claws in the seasonings, and they're all lined up, ready to go. I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator until we're ready to get them on the grill, and now I'm about to get to the slaw. Okay, to make the slaw, I have a jalapeno, a cucumber that has been peeled and seeded, and 1 carrot. I have 2 limes, and I also have a head of cabbage. So I'm gonna julienne the carrot, cucumber, and jalapeno. I just got these great knives in from Wolf Cutlery. Amazing quality, good handle. It's gonna allow me to julienne these vegetables really nicely, and I'm excited about them. Comes with a sharpener. I saw them at the New Orleans Food and Wine event, and they have a lifetime warranty. They will replace them if anything happens to them. So I'm gonna cut all this up. Again, jalapeno, cucumber, carrot, and the cabbage with juice of 2 limes. And then we're gonna add a little honey, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper. All right, I've got all my chopping. This is a big head of cabbage, so I only used about half of it. Finally julienne the cabbage. So I got the cucumber, carrot, jalapeno at the bottom. I'm gonna do juice of 2 limes. I can't squeeze a lime for the life of me. I have to use this press. I don't know if I don't have enough arm strength or not, or my grip is just weak, but I need to use this for limes. All right, so we got our acid in there. Now we're gonna do we'll start with that much lemon, maybe a teaspoon, and some salt and pepper. And about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and we'll give this a good toss. Now I'm working backwards in this recipe, as I think it's gonna work in my head, but the slaw is gonna sit for a little bit, and the vegetables are gonna soften because of the acid in the lime juice. This is exactly how it looked at the Restaurant Revolution, where we had this recipe. I think they use a little purple cabbage in here as well, but this looks pretty similar. So let's give it a little. Good. It's got good seasoning. As it sits in the fridge for about a half an hour as we're preparing the rest of the recipe, the vegetables are going to soften up a little bit more, so it's going to be great. All right, now we're going to go on to the barbecue shrimp butter sauce that goes underneath the plate with the crab claws. The last thing I forgot for the slaw was a tablespoon of green onion and cilantro chopped. I'm going to mix that in. Almost forgot my little accoutrements. So we have 1 jalapeno, 1 carrot, 1 cucumber, and about half of a head of cabbage, along with a tablespoon of cilantro and green onion, salt, pepper, honey, olive oil, and juice of 2 limes. So we're gonna put this in the fridge. Now for real, we're gonna start on the sauce. All right, we're on to the sauce. We're at the stove now, so I have 1 stick of butter in this small sauce pot. I'm gonna add about 4 cloves of minced garlic and let that saute a little bit in the melted butter. So after the garlic has gone, I'm gonna start adding my spices. So I have 1 teaspoon about of sweet smoked paprika, and then a half a teaspoon of pepper, salt, and cayenne. You see, I'm just eyeballing this. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. All right, a couple dashes of Louisiana hot sauce, and double the amount of dashes of Worcestershire. Give that a little stir. All right, now we're gonna do juice of a lemon and a lime. Again, my little squeezer here. And to finish it off, I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of seafood stock. By the way, for the crab claws, when we eat the meat out of the claw, if you're out of seafood stock from your freezer, I think I showed you this recipe before, make sure you save the crab claws, put them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer so you can make your homemade stock next time. So now we're just going to simmer this. It looks lovely. Simmer it for about 3-4 minutes, and it's going to reduce a little bit. It's still going to be like a loose sauce, and that's just going to loosely coat the crab claws, sit on the bottom of the slaw when we make the dish. So I can reserve this, put a lid on it, and we can cook the rest of the stuff. All right, I'm on to the prep for the dirty rice. My knife is working great, by the way. I got a whole onion chopped, and I'm finishing up this green pepper. Look at that, beautiful. No resistance, no slipping. Perfect chop. All right. So we got onion, pepper, and we got some seasonings back on the stove there. So I'm gonna take you back over there, and we're gonna get started on this rice. Okay, I have about 1 tablespoon of butter in this pot. I have not even a cup, 3/4 of a cup chopped chicken thigh, chopped andouille, and a half a pound of ground beef. Brown all this first. Mash it all together. Let me wash my hands. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of salt, cayenne and pepper. You want to add the spices at this point so they have a chance to kind of toast, become one with the meat. We're making this a real dirty rice. We're going to do 2 cups of rice for all this meat. So I'm just going to let this brown, and then we'll add our onions and peppers after this is nice and toasty. All right, we're getting nice and dirty here. So now I'm going to add my vegetables. This is 1 green pepper diced up, and this is 1 onion. This is probably a heaping cup. It was a big onion, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do just a little bit of that. I'm not going to do all of the onion. And mix this in with the meat. We're going to let this soften. We'll see how long it takes. Told you I'm making this recipe with you guys for the first time, so we're figuring it out together. Soften that up. Let's give it a few minutes. Okay, so after about 5-6 minutes or so, everything is nice and brown. I'm gonna go ahead and taste. You want everything to be tender right now. So you don't want to feel any bite in the onion or the pepper. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and add a little Creole seasoning, a little bit more. This is going to also add more color to the rice as well, giving it that real dirty color that you're used to seeing when you order dirty rice in a restaurant. All right. So now it's ready for me to add my stock. I am going to do seafood stock today instead of water. So I have rice that is exactly 1 cup to 1 cup. So I'm going to do 2 cups of seafood stock and 2 cups of rice. Here's 1 cup of seafood stock. I'm just going to enhance the flavor a little bit. Since we're serving it with crab, I felt like seafood stock made sense here, and I had some extra. So make sure that your stock comes to a boil, and then you're going to follow the rice directions, whatever type of rice you have. Today I have minute rice, so it's only going to be 2 cups of rice in, turn the heat off, stir, cover, and it's going to be 5 minutes. If you have rice that takes 15 minutes, whatever, that's fine. You could follow the same recipe, liquid to rice ratio. But the important thing is once you get the meat and the vegetables to where you want them, you add the rice after that. All right. Crab claws on the grill. We're gonna go about 2-3 minutes each side and flip it once. All right. See that? That's what I was hoping for. Some char on the seasonings. We're gonna go ahead and flip all of these. Make sure they're warmed through. So looks like 3 minutes each side is gonna be good. I have my grill on pretty high, almost all the way up. We are ready, y'all. All right, so I got most of the sauce. I heated it up, got it warm again, and I'm gonna toss these crab legs right in the sauce and then bring them inside so we can serve up. All right, we're ready to plate up. I'm gonna go rice in the middle. I got 2 different plates. I'm gonna see what this looks like. And I'm gonna go rice on the side on this one. Rice in the middle here. And we got our slaw. And look at these beauties. Toss the crab claws in the sauce. And I'm just gonna get in here with my hands, put them all around. That looks good, and a little more sauce on top. So I think we're ready. Cajun Crab Claws, dirty rice, and some slaw. Enjoy. All right, everyone, we're gonna recap this recipe. So I told you we were making this for the first time. I never did this recipe before. So our overall feedback, my husband and I, the crab claws were really good. The seasoning on them and then pouring the sauce over afterwards was really great. The dirty rice was good, really good. I would make it again, but I think for the next time for this recipe, I'll make a few tweaks. I'm gonna do like a stewed meat, get the meat really dark, make it even more dirty than it was, so I have a darker rice, deeper flavor, and that will overall intensify the dish. And then the slaw, I think just a finer cut in the slaw, maybe the ratio of a little less cabbage. I think we did 3 cups of cabbage with the cucumber and the pepper and cilantro and all that, maybe a little less cabbage and a little more sweetness on the cabbage. So I'll tweak the recipe the second time around and add it to the YouTube when I get to it. But thank you all for cooking with me, and we'll see you next time.